Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the conference call of Onward Technologies Limited to discuss the fundraise announcement of Convergent Finance LLP. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star followed by 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Anuj Sonpal, CEO of Valorem LLC. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you, operator. Good afternoon, everyone, and a warm welcome to you all. My name is Anuj Sonpal from Valorem Advisors. We represent the investor relations of Onward Technologies Limited. Before we start, I hope everybody joining us today is safe and well. And on behalf of the company, I would like to thank you all for participating in the Concall to discuss the recent fundraise announcement with Convergent Finance Limited, LLP. Before we begin, a quick cautionary statement. Some of the statements made in today's earnings conference call may be forward-looking in nature. Such forward-looking statements are subject to risks and uncertainties which could cause actual results to differ from those anticipated. Such statements are based on management's beliefs as well as assumptions made by and information currently available to management. Audiences are cautioned not to place any undue reliance on these forward-looking statements in making any investment decisions. The purpose of today's conference call is purely to educate and bring awareness about the company's fundamental business and recent fundraise announcement of the company. Now, without any further delay, let me introduce you to the participants of today's con call. We have with us Mr. Jigar Mehta, Managing Director of Onward Technologies Limited, Mr. Devanand Ramdasani, Chief Financial Officer, and Mr. Harsha Raghavan, who's joining us from he's Managing Partner at Convergent Finance. Without any further delay, I request Mr. Jigar Mehta to start with his opening remarks. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Anuj, and good afternoon to you all. Thank you again for your continued interest in Onward Technologies and joining us and participating in this call on short notice. As you know, Onward Technologies in its board meeting held on 27th May 2021 has considered and approved the raising of funds of 70.2 crores from funds advised by Convergent Finance LLP. The fundraise is structured as a subscription to equity shares and warrants priced in accordance with applicable SEBI regulations. The investment will result in approximately 24.78% ownership stake to Convergent on a fully diluted basis. Customary closing conditions, including shareholder approval, will apply. I believe that this investment is a big vote of confidence for the Onward Tech team, reinforcing the tremendous transformation and growth underway within our organization. Quick background, Onward Technologies was started by my father, Mr. Harish Mehta, in 2016 when he appointed me Managing Director of the organization, with a clear vision to transform the entire organization towards ER&D, or Engineering, Research and Development Services company focused on the global market. We've gone through major changes since then, and I'm very pleased to share some key highlights and the transformation that's underway within the organization. Before 2016, we were predominantly focused on the domestic market, domestic India market, and on the IT services side and on product reselling. Since then, we've gone through major structural change and focusing on the export side of the revenues, where now more than 50% of our revenues comes from North America and Europe. We have built a very strong management team and leadership team across the board, across offices and our various verticals, and several of them are present here on the call. Vignesh, Pratish, Shankar, Sujata, Satish, Venki, Dev, and we have a large number of people who have been inducted recently over the last 12 months as we continue to grow and expand our offerings. As a young team, in the engineering, research and development space over the last 5 years, very pleased to share that we have won and continue to win the trust of some of the largest Fortune 500 and manufacturing companies in the world. And in our focused verticals, which I'll talk about a bit more about later. And the COVID-19 and the pandemic obviously took us by surprise and the whole world by surprise. But very pleased to share that's actually been our young, agile, flexible team has been able to adopt the changes very quickly. We've added and inducted about 500 new engineers over the last few quarters. We have also delivered good numbers on the bottom line side and on top line growth in Q4, and we feel confident going forward about the whole work from home culture. The speed of digital revolution, as you guys already know, has been a welcome change, especially in the ER&D industry. And as per Rascom reports, it's going to outperform most of the other industries in the offshoring space. So again, we are very excited to be here. Last couple of quarters has seen a very positive change from our side. And I want to put some more structure and methodology towards our conversation, and then I will hand over to Harsha to say a few words. Onward is structured into 4 main verticals, 2 which are currently high growth verticals. One is transportation and mobility, where we focus on automotive and rail transportation. And second is industrial equipment and heavy machinery. This continues to be our largest revenue stream as of today, and we see that in the future as well. There are 2 new high growth verticals that we are focusing on, which is healthcare and medical devices, and high-tech space, which includes semiconductors as well. Our business model has changed substantially over the last few years and is going to change further going forward. We are today a 100% pure play services company, which is focused only on 2 revenue streams, which is time and material and fixed price projects, where time and material continues to be our chosen business model, and fixed price is something which is where we are continuously getting better at. From being a pure play domestic services company, IT services, as I mentioned earlier, almost 50% of our revenue now comes from export and offshoring, and we believe that number will keep increasing as we build up our presence in North America and Europe. And third most important point is our old service lines and the new lines of businesses. Onward, before 2016, was predominantly an IT services company, and including our biggest focus on ER&D was mechanical engineering services. Over the last few years, we have talked about and shared some data earlier. Our focus continues to be on expanding our embedded electronic capabilities and expanding more and more towards digital capabilities, which includes Internet of Things, cloud, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. To summarize, we believe, and I strongly feel confident with the management team in place, that we are rightly positioned to beat the average industry growth rate over the next couple of quarters and beyond. We are also continuing to remain focused in terms of growing our revenues from our top clients, where we see exponential potential. And with the new war chest of investment coming in from Convergent Finance team, I believe it will open up a lot more avenue for both organic and inorganic growth for us. So again, very, very excited. It's the right time for us. And without further ado, I would like to welcome Harsha on the call. He and his team at Convergent have an excellent track record of value creation, and I am very excited to work closely with them. Over to you, Harsha.
Thank you so much, Jigar. Thank you so much, Anuj. This is Harsha Raghavan here, Managing Partner of Convergent Finance. A warm welcome to everybody on this call. It's a real pleasure to have the opportunity to interact with you on this occasion and others. I do hope everybody has continued to maintain good health with their families and all safe and protected. Now, I'd like to simply address 3 points in the opening remarks, and of course, then hand back to Jigar, who will be available for questions, as will I. The 3 simple points are why Onward. That's point number 1. Point 2 is why now. And point 3 is why Convergent as a partner. So with that, the first point, why Onward? We looked at Onward, and within the large landscape of available options to invest within the broader IT services arena, Onward is perhaps not the logical first step. However, we saw with Onward something that was a very unusual mix. The company has a rich history, very rich parentage, with Mr. Harish Mehta have really been an effective founder of the IT services industry in India through Onward and NASSCOM and so on. Rich history, work customer relationships that Jigar can speak about that go back 15 years already, and the company itself has 30 years of operating history. Despite that, Onward is in the form of rapid transformation, led by Jigar in the last 3 to 5 years, and hence it has a certain element of being a quasi-startup. The team has, under Jigar's leadership, has completely morphed the business model in the last several years, and hence leveraging the rich history, the company is leaner and better able to serve the customers compared to some of the legacy businesses that exist. So that's the first point about why Onward. Why now? So the second point. As we all know, globally, there's been a move towards cloud. There's been a move towards asset-light working from home models of interaction and communication and delivery. Many of the large IT service companies that have built out large physical infrastructure are today asset-heavy. They are no longer lean and flexible. Those cost structures now need to be passed on to the customer based on the legacy working model. Onward is freed of that. Despite the rich history, it does not have the high cost base or infrastructure base. So can use funds much more intelligently based on the new model. With that and with the transformation that Jigar and his team, very capable team, have been leading in the last several years, we believe Onward is on an inflection point now towards hypergrowth. Last question and point is why Convergent as a partner? Of course, Jigar is better equipped to answer this, and I'm sure he will. But from our perspective, we have a core expertise at Convergent, dating back to the days when the founding team of Convergent was also in the senior leadership at Fairfax. We have a history of helping companies do bolt-on acquisitions to create value and achieve hypergrowth. We believe with this fundraising round and with the partnership between the Convergent and Onward teams, we believe that we have the opportunity to assist Onward in this journey going forward. Thank you, Jigar.
Thank you, Harsha. Anuj, we can open it up for questions.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets for asking a question. Anyone who wishes to ask a question at this time, they may please press star and 1. The first question is from the line of Dhruv Shah from Ambika FinCap. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi Jigar and team. Congratulations on the fundraise. I basically have 2 questions. First question, what happens to your IT services with the focus being on ER&D?
Dhruv, so on the IT services business, the businesses that we had to exit, as we shared in the earnings presentation last time, we have already exited this business. Now with the entire current business, of course, post the approval at the EGM, which is end of the month, we would do a complete detailed strategic review with the Convergent team and entire Onward management team, and then we would decide the way forward. Because we see opportunities of growing in both, and right. We should have further updates for you very soon.
Right. And my second question is, so basically I just have a broader question on ER&D. So basically you guys are entering in the field where the, Tata Elxsi or KPIT have been there and they have struggled a lot. Like it has taken them years to reach the size they have taken. So what makes you confident that you can reach that size very, quicker than what they have done?
So, Dhruv, my feedback, my reaction is a bit different. I think Tata Elxsi and some of the companies you mentioned are exceptionally successful, and they've created a very strong benchmark for everybody with the opportunities they're scaling. What's happened fundamentally, which we touched base upon at the initial of our introduction, is the whole industry is going through a major transformation, right? This whole work from home is an enabling company or customers globally to go more and more digital, where the opportunities for both digital and for outsourcing offshoring is increasing drastically, which means companies like us, and we believe we are rightly positioned, everybody is growing with their existing customers. So we see a massive opportunity with our current customers to scale the business. And that's what we are very excited with is today.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Okay. Lines that we talk about through, we do a lot of work on the mechanical side with our customers. And more we are investing and growing with our customers on the digital side and the embedded side. So it's more about mining existing customer relationships where we see a massive potential growth for us.
Right. Jigar, where I was coming is from also that you are entering a lot of spaces like auto, you said then semiconductors, healthcare, which are for our size, aren't you diversifying a lot? That's what my point was.
So absolutely, Dhruv. So there's two ways to look at it. One, when we say we are not talking about only new customers, majority of our business focus, our model, and where my management team is focused on existing customers. So we're talking about already Fortune 500 companies and Global 2000 companies, which are existing customers. So we already have customers on the automotive side, right? So we work with some of the largest OEMs in the world. We already have customers in the industrial equipment side. We already work with the top rail transportation company in the world from North America. So it's more about scaling our business with these customers is our priority going forward.
Right. And with the fund infusion, you get the reach as well. That's what my understanding is. And any inorganic opportunity if it comes in the way.
Absolutely. And, one is the funds. The second is also the expertise of Harsha and his management team of scaling up businesses. Right? And that's what excited me towards Harsha, when I first met him. The track record that they have of taking young companies and helping them grow in a very structured manner is what excited us. So that's exactly how we are trying to structure Onward going forward.
Right. Congratulations once again and all the best, team.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Anmol Grover from Albatross Capital. Please go ahead.
Hi everyone, good evening. Congratulations on the fundraise. I have two questions. My first question is, what was the deal wins in FY21 and what is the pipeline going forward?
Sorry, can you repeat the first question?
My question is, what were the deal wins in FY21 and what is the pipeline going forward?
So hi. So we can't talk about the deal wins, but we did talk about our, just in the last one quarter, we have won 5 large Fortune 500 companies as our customers, where we are a preferred vendor. Again, to clarify for everybody on the call, Onward Technologies being a young company, the biggest strength that we have is we work directly with the end customer. There is no intermediary, there is no reference point, there is no in between companies or subcontracting, right? So we get selected based on various pilot projects that we do over the last so many quarters, and that's what excites us the most. And number two, in terms of our projections going forward, is we continue to believe that we will beat average industry growth both on the top line and bottom line.
Okay. My second question is, what is the strategy going forward for growing the digital side of your business?
Sorry, can you elaborate a bit more of that?
I just wanted to know that the digital is a very small portion of your revenue, and we're seeing a lot of digital transformation going on right now. Digital is a lot in play right now. So I just wanted to know what is your thought process, what is your strategy going forward on growing the digital side?
Got it. Okay. So our strategy, again, for us, very, very excited. What we are excited about is on the digital side is our customers are going through a major digital transformation, right? So they are moving more and more towards that. So we are building focused capabilities to cater to our existing clientele. And for us, that's the biggest draw, whether it's cloud on the AWS side, whether it's Azure, or whether it's going towards IoT and various other technologies on the AI/ML side, and we are investing behind our existing customers. So we don't have a challenge today, at least we don't see that for the next few years, where we have to build capabilities grounds up and then sort of sell the pilots to our customers. We have to build more about customer-focused investments where the customers are going on the digital on the digital revolution side.
That's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A reminder to our participants, if you wish to ask a question, please press star and 1. The next question is from the line of Apurva Mehta from AM Investments. Please go ahead.
Congratulations on great deal. Just wanted to ask, if your this huge amount of dilution in your equity, it was a bit necessary for you to dilute huge amount of 25% equity? Because I don't think we need so much of cash to grow in a linear way. So I was little surprised to see this deal.
Thank you. This is definitely a very, very big question for us as well. And but when again for me, I would like to reiterate, when I first met Harsha and his team, and when we first got, when we started talking about fundraising and talking to various investors, potential investors, for me the excitement was to get Harsha and his team on board to help us go to the next level. As you know, Onward is a 30-year-old organization, and our focus in the past was very different, right? We were a product selling company, services company, we were a banking company. We did a lot of businesses in Onward, government businesses. The new focus that we are trying to do, having a capable partner where funds is not a challenge, where expertise of scaling is not a challenge, and we have so much to learn from, and my young management team as well. That's what excited us. And I won't talk about the amount, but again, this is very, very small. If you see Convergent team's background, this is probably one of the smallest investments they have done. And our board, including my father, were all very excited to get such an accomplished partner on board.
And when we have such huge fund, any acquisition on your mind, during this deal, do you have any such things in your mind? Because now we are having a huge amount of cash also. So, close to 70 crore coming in and another 30 crore which will be generated. So 100 crore of cash we will be having. Any thought on acquisition front or grow faster than what you think?
So, do we have any acquisition names today? Answer is no. But is that something we would look at? Absolutely. And we have considered, as I had shared last time in the last call, we have considered few companies which in our space, especially on the R&D space, that we have spoken to in the last couple of quarters. And I think this gives us the war chest to actually look at it much more seriously and aggressively going forward. So as soon as we have something coming up, we'll definitely share with you.
Okay. Thanks a lot, and wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any participants who wish to ask a question, then please press star and 1. The next question is from the line of Oshin Kedia as an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Hi. Congratulations for the deal, firstly. And my question is, can you give a little more detailed guidance going forward? Because others are doing an EBITDA margin of 20% plus, and we are currently at 7 to 8%. So can this improve from here?
Yes, thank you. That's definitely the plan going forward. As I mentioned a bit earlier, we are focusing on the margins. Last year was a bit lower than companies our size or maybe even double our size, predominantly because we were investing in building up our capabilities in North America and Europe. And now with most of the investments in place and more and more deals coming our way, as I said, we've been winning exciting deals, especially over the last few months. We believe our EBITDA margin will go up, especially because of our focus on the export and the offshore revenues.
By how much can it go up? Any sort of guidance?
So we can't. I don't think we're ready to announce it yet. But as I said, we are confident and we are positive that as of today, we should be able to beat the average industry guidance going forward.
Okay, so these new accounts that you won in the last quarter, that you said 4 to 5 big accounts that you won. So what do you look at it? How much % of revenues can these accounts contribute to?
So all accounts we quantify as quality accounts or high growth accounts which should give us minimum of $1 million per year, and which has potential to generate at least $10 million per year. So that's how the current definition is.
Okay. So was the fundraise something to do in connection to do with any of these account winning clients that you needed any investment, or it was majorly for any inorganic growth?
So it was for both. It was not to do with these clients, but it's to do with all our clients, because our clients, as I said, thanks to work from home, thanks to the pandemic and the whole digital revolution around us, everybody moving data on the cloud and working remotely, our customers are growing at an exponential pace. And we are trying to support them, and we are competing against some of the largest players in the industry. And I think this fundraise was more towards getting the right partner on board who has been there, done that, and can actually help us scale much faster.
Okay. So can growth going forward be 15-20% in the range of 15 to 20%?
I know you're trying to get to a number. Again,
Okay.
My commitment continues to be that we are focused, aligned, and working very hard to make sure that we deliver better than average industry rates, both on the top line and the bottom line.
Okay, just one final question. And you said you are looking at inorganic opportunities in which sector?
In ER&D itself, right? On the engineering research and development sector, which is especially on the two verticals, which are our current high growth verticals, which is transportation and mobility, and second is industrial equipment and heavy machinery.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Jigar. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Piyush Jain from Resurgence Capital. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. So first two questions. So the first question is, where do we see our growth coming from, the larger chunk of growth coming from in future? Would it be the ERD space or the digital space? Hello?
Yes. Growth. Sorry, go on. Why don't you finish your question?
No. Am I audible? I was just checking. Yes.
Absolutely. So the growth will come from our engineering, both. There is ER&D space and digital space is now the new terminology. Very soon is going to be called digital engineering. So where all our engineering research and development customers are moving towards digital. So we believe it will be from the digital space. Growth will come from the two verticals that I mentioned, which is transportation and mobility today. Transportation, mobility, and industrial equipment and heavy machinery today. And we are hoping, and our goal is to already start building capabilities and capacity on the healthcare side, on the medical devices side, and on the high-tech side, where we already have existing customers, and we are signing up new customers at a very, very fast pace. So that's for the future.
All right. Sir, another related question. Sir, can you highlight how much of an overlap is there right now between digital and ERD, and how do you see this going forward? Where I'm coming from is, what I understand is your clients are already some of the biggest companies, correct? And you have been working with them with a niche in ER&D, correct? And now you were saying we will also expand with digital with them. You continue cross-mining them. So they would have other vendors for this. What is your niche here? Why would they select you for this particular aspect?
So again, great question. For us, the customers that we are talking about, obviously competition is strong. Competition is some of the biggest players, not only from India, but also from Europe and US. But the best part about why we believe we win and why we have been winning over the last couple of quarters and last 4 years in particular has been, we have a very minimum cost structure. We are a very young team. We have 2,100 employees today. We are very agile, we are very flexible, and we are seeing more and more customers are enjoying working with us and ramping up capacity with them because we can obviously offer them the lowest cost of innovation. And that continues to be our focus as we mine our existing customers and build deeper relationships.
So can you elaborate on what size of contracts or how these contract wins have been for you? How many competitors are there? What is the typical size or engagement period in the space that you compete with over the past few months that you've seen?
So what I can share, again, on this call, I'm not sure how much I'm allowed to share, but let me share with this, right? When we talk about some of the biggest companies in the world, we are talking about competing with, let's say, the top 20 companies or services companies, technology services companies or digital engineering services companies in the world, right? And what's exciting for us and why these customers, again, as I said, we have a very strong management team. We attracted some of the most phenomenal talent over the last couple of years. We've built a very good, young, agile culture. And third is, we are a company which has a 30-year rich history, and that definitely helps with the goodwill that we have and the relationships that we have with the customers. So earlier, if you look at the Onward background, if you look at before 2016, we used to compete with very, very small companies, startup organizations in India and around the world. Today, we compete against some of the biggest companies and organizations around the world. So having a strong financial partner was very important, which will actually help us and give the customer the confidence that we have the ability to invest behind them, especially with the technology disruption happening with the digital revolution.
All right, sir. So just one last question. So from now onwards, post this capital raise, as well as looking at the future and the pipeline, and the kind of deal wins that you are having, can we say that single-digit margins are history for you, and we will see all double-digit margins going forward, considering the kind of contracts and the kind of work that you guys are doing now?
Yes, as I said, we will beat the industry average growth rate, and yes, single-digit should be behind us.
Okay, great, sir. Congratulations.
Thank you. Harsha, do you want to add anything?
Hello, can you hear me? Jigar? Yeah. No, I have nothing specific to add. If there are any questions for me, I'm happy to take them, but I already made my introductory remarks.
So, Harsha, if I can just ask one more. Harsha, since you were talking about investments and you invested in a very young company, so what is your vision for Onward for the next 4-5 years? I'm pretty sure you would have some view on that, right? While I understand you're backing the team and everything, you would definitely have some vision towards their team. So can you elaborate on that?
Yes, happy to.
Thank you.
Happy to. The role we play at Convergent, and our tagline, our motto is bringing together ideas, capital, and passionate entrepreneurs. So the role we play at Convergent, of course, we can provide the capital, but we need to marry that with ideas, which is also means innovation, and passionate entrepreneurs. So we see both those elements in Onward, with respect to a highly entrepreneurial team led by Jigar, a level of innovation, which is in an industry that has now matured. This company is not stuck with the legacy ways of doing things or legacy cost structures of the large IT services companies. This company has the ability to provide much better value addition to the service at the same or more economical prices to customers around the world. In the meantime, as everybody would be aware, and Jigar, I think, can speak about it length, all the auto companies, railway companies, industrial machinery companies, they are all going digital. In the old days, our car windows were manual. but now they're electronic. Every seats are electronic. Everything is electronic in all these equipment, sensors. All of that needs specialty engineering, digital engineering, as Jigar pointed out. So the scope and scale is tremendous. The larger IT companies are very good at certain things, but they're focused on billion-dollar contracts. They're focused on multiplying those billion-dollar contracts, and their specialty work. That's where the opportunities for Onward. So I'd say the vision is to expand Onward dramatically over the next 5 years.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Thank you. Any participants who wish to ask a question, please press star and 1. The next question is from the line of Nirmal Shah from Seraphic Management. Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir. I have a question with respect to the growth aspirations of the company. Looking at the scale of our revenue and operations, along with the huge opportunities lying in front of us, and that in addition to having the backing of an investor to support our growth ambition, when we give a guidance of 15 to 20%, is it an understatement, or you think that the current management bandwidth can't support more than 15 to 20% growth rate? Because I was just wondering that the size of the company is not so big, so obviously we would be beating the industry growth rate. But what is the magnitude of output? That would be the key question I want to understand.
So let me answer a bit differently. I'll take 2 points here. So the first point is, 15 to 20% is something which Onward has not delivered in the past, right? So that's the first big milestone for us to make sure we deliver that, and we deliver that on a concurrent, on a regular, on a sustaining basis, right? So that's the first big milestone for us. And to answer the second point, is the industry big enough for Onward to deliver much bigger growth? Absolutely, the potential is there. But I want my team to focus on the present, not get too focused on the future. I think once we make it a sustainable quarter on quarter, on an annual basis, we start delivering growth from our top clients, I think we can start looking at things a bit more differently. But the first challenge and the first goal for us continues to be making sure we deliver as we have committed to all of you in the last earnings presentation.
Okay. So what you are trying to say is for next few quarters, your focus would be to get into the new growth trajectory, experience the challenges of further scaling up, and then probably you can go into the hyper growth trajectory. Are you pointing out that way?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Mridul Shah from Amara Capital. Please go ahead.
Hi, Jigar, Harsha. Congratulations on the deal. Harsha, my question is to you. As an investor, how should one read into this, alliance or strategic partnership? How do you see adding value over the next few, years of your association here?
Thank you. Thank you very much. That's a great question. We are a very long-term investor at Convergent. We have already demonstrated this with a number of our past investments and current investments. Whether it was in the Fairfax context with Thomas Cook or Quest Corporation, whether it's currently with companies like Camlin Fine Sciences and others. So what you'll see, I hope, is a consistent pattern where, as a long-term investor who's looking to help partner with the management team to build a business, we are helping guide management teams to make the right decisions for the long-term success of the company, to build a strong foundation for the company. Frankly, we are not overly fussed about quarterly earnings numbers if the right decisions are made for the long term. And so we provide that kind of a sounding board. We also have resident expertise within our team on due diligence, on deal execution, contract negotiations, securities matters, etc., all within our team and based on our past experience, that we provide as a value add to our companies for no compensation whatsoever. So we are really, we look at this as a strategic investment.
Got it. And sorry, just a quick question. So this obviously gets classified as a promoter holding, right?
the 24% stake which you would be coming into as?
As of today, it's not classified as a promoter holding, which is unfortunate. But then, had we classified as a promoter holding, we would have triggered an open offer. We were fine to trigger an open offer. However, there were complications with doing that at this point in time, and so that did not occur.
Sure. That will be all from my end. Thanks and all the best to you guys.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Devang Bhatt from ICICI Direct. Please go ahead.
Hi. Thank you for taking my question. Earlier, there was you gave the rationale for fundraising. I missed out because I got conked up. Can you help me with that again? Secondly, will you get access to some of the clients of Convergent, or will Convergent help you in crossing some clients or things like that? And will there be further dilution in future?
Hi, I think that question is for me, Jigar, or you would like Harsha to come in here?
Anybody. Who, sir? Fundraising is for you, sir.
Got it. Okay. No, thank you for the question. Devang, right?
Yes, sir.
So our goal was, we are seeing amazing opportunities in the market. As I said, our customers are going through a major digital shift. Our ER&D customers are going through a major digital shift. And Onward needs to invest, and we want to make sure, like the earlier years, we are not playing catch up. We are at the forefront of the technology disruption, right? So digitization, has entered the engineering R&D industry in a very big way, by way of analytics, whether it's machine learning, IoT technologies. And, the trend is going to actually help accelerate the whole ER&D outsourcing in general, right, from a global perspective. And we believe Onward is very rightly positioned for that. And to do that, we want to make sure we have a right war chest, both for organic and inorganic growth. So when we started the process a couple of months back and had the opportunity to meet with the Convergent team, we were pretty excited, and hence it worked out so quickly.
But sir, you are already debt free, and you can cross. You already have good set of clients, existing clients. So, I mean, all you need to do is, grow organically. You need to just ramp up your, employee base. I don't know why we need this for. I mean, why do we need this fund as such?
So again, it wasn't just the fund, right? Just to clarify again, for me, fund was one particular thing, and for the board and for my father. It was more about getting a highly competent, experienced team to help us execute our vision, right? And when we, as I said, when I met Harsha, when I spoke to his partners, Harsha, Vijit, and Amrita, who are on the call as well, it was exciting that they've been there, done that, and they're doing that with similar companies, various other industries. And I think with their network, with their experience, I think it will help me and my management team to scale much more efficiently. It will help us scale much more. It will help us fortify what we are trying to do in Onward and start delivering sustainable quarter-on-quarter and annual growth. It was a whole package is what, for me, got us excited. And and again, I'm very happy that they had the confidence in us, right? We've come from a very difficult and a different past. But last 5 years has been great, has been very positive, and I think this will actually help us and give us the boost for the future.
Okay. So, so from the Convergent point of view, how does it help you out? If you could help me, or somebody from the Convergent can help. And will there be further fundraise by you in future?
I'm happy to take that, Devang. Harsha Raghavan here. And thank you for this very insightful question. Convergent is here as a value-added partner. We have global networks. We have substantial amount of connects that may potentially arise into customer relationships. All of that is available to the Onward team, once again, for no compensation, but as a partnership. Given the scale of the opportunity, and Jigar spoke about this, in transportation and mobility alone, where the connected car is now an absolute reality at every single auto company around the world, in industrial machinery as well, given the scale of the opportunity, these are all multi-$100 billion opportunities, perhaps trillion-dollar opportunities. The components that Onward can address are, of course, smaller, but then still very large. Given the scale of these opportunities, these funds, which is only $9 million, plus any cash reserves, $12 or $13 million, are perhaps just a small starting point if Onward is to succeed and become a dominant player.
So then will there be a further future dilutions? Will you be infusing more funds going forward?
Jigar can speak about that, but then it will all be opportunity based. It will not be other than that.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll come in here again. Maybe I'll simplify it a bit different and summarize the same question in some of the different ways. But again, it's a great question, and it's something we've been discussing internally for quite some time at the board level. Onward, traditionally, if you look at our background, especially the last 5 years since I became managing director, we've always been playing catch up. Onward has been on the mechanical side and on the IMS, FMS services on the IT side for the last so many years. And we have continued to play catch up. Only over the last 2 years, we have started investing aggressively towards our future. And we are hoping we can actually exponentially invest that. So 3 years from now, we are not playing catch up. So whether it's a question of fundraise or will we dilute further, we are open to all possibilities which will help Onward grow and make important mark and create value for our customers. And I can tell you one thing, our customers are very demanding. So it's a very, very exciting time for me and my management team, and we're very excited to be here.
Sir, I have a couple of more questions. Can I, or should I fall back in the line?
Anuj?
Devang, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, we can hear.
Please go ahead.
Okay. Sir, in your presentation, you have said that, you grow by 15 to 20%. This is organic or inorganic? Secondly, if I heard you right, you're going to stop the 26% revenues from IT services. So is it that you are going to stop it or you're going to divest that?
So great questions again. Just to clarify for you and everybody else, the growth that we believe we will deliver this year, where we see a massive opportunity in front of us, is all organic. That's before Harsha and his team, Convergent team, have come in, right? So that's what we are committed. And even the new relationships and everything else that we believe we will get through this new partnership, obviously doesn't happen overnight, and things will build up over the next couple of quarters and years. So this is more of a long-term relationship and a long-term partnership. And to answer your second question was on the IT services side. Again, I mentioned earlier. So earlier we had two kinds of IT businesses. One was the loss-making businesses where we were investing because of our legacy, and second is businesses where we work with very good customers. So the loss-making businesses, we have exited everything 100% in 2020. In this year, the IT business that we have today is a profitable business. It's working with some of the biggest customers in India. Now, post the EGM, we will do a very strategic review both at the board level and with the Convergent team, and to evaluate whether we continue with that business, we grow the business, and the various opportunities which will help in value creation for all the stakeholders.
Great. Sir, my last question is normally, mid-cap companies focus on a particular space, and what I know is you are good in automotive side. But in the presentation, I have seen you are expanding into healthcare, you are expanding your geographies, and you are in your existing business, you are planning to expand more in US, Europe, UK, and you're going to open more subsidiaries in Netherlands, Canada, Japan, Sweden. So wouldn't be more than, we are focusing more outside our core strength or, and more than what we should do? Is it, or we should be more focused?
So again, thank you. A great question. And let me give you a different, give you a point-wise answer. So, Onward, the best part about Onward is, like Harsha said, we are like a startup, or like my father also calls it, we are like a startup but in a 30-year-old company, right? Because the journey, the transformation, the new way of working is only for the last several years. So that's the first part. The second part is the leadership team, the management team that we have, and that we have who have joined us and who we have hired recently, all come from extremely large companies who have been there, done that, and have run P&Ls much bigger than Onward individually or collectively. So we have added a lot of experience and depth across various things. So if you ask any of them, they think we are growing very slowly or we are investing very slowly. They believe we can do 10 times faster than where we are today. So if it wasn't from this whole work from home, remote working environment, I think we would be talking about much faster expansion going forward. And I think that's what excited everybody around us. And we feel confident that we will be able to ramp up across these various industries and verticals that we're talking about.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Chirag Gupta. As an individual investor, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. So the first question that I have is regarding the talent landscape. So my understanding is that, in this industry, any company which wants to grow, that has to focus on acquiring a lot of talent, a lot of good people. So how's the talent landscape? Is Onward able to attract the required talent? Or let's say, if you put some color on the talent landscape currently, that would be great.
Sure. Again, great question. Again, I go back to my earlier point. Talent is definitely a challenge, definitely something which will, because our biggest asset as a services company is people. So people continues to be the biggest opportunity and challenge, the way you look at it. I look at things bit more positively. The kind of talent that we have in Onward today and the number of people that are joining us on a daily basis across the world, we are able to attract extremely competent people who have been there, done that, to execute our vision. And they see a huge upside as well, right? So we are not hiring, we are doing hiring, not fresher hiring. And that really is giving us the push, and that's what is giving our customers the confidence to actually award us more and more work. And we believe as a young company, again, it's only 2,100 people, there's so much opportunity for people to grow with us, as leaders, as managers, as part of executive leadership. And there's huge financial growth for them. So we see large number of people from larger companies which are getting stagnated in those organizations, giving Onward Technologies and our vision a chance.
Got it. And, a follow-up question to that. So some of the technologies like data science, AI, ML, IoT, I believe the talent is scarce. If I just limit myself to India, I'm not sure what is the situation outside. And I've heard from some people that the salaries have gone up quite a lot in the last, few months or probably a year. So is that something that you are also facing, or you have a different, you are seeing a different situation in some of these technologies?
So again, I'll break up the question into 2 points. Is the cost gone up of talent? Absolutely yes. We have the same challenges like any other company servicing in our industry. The cost has gone up exponentially, especially over the last few weeks. But I personally don't see that as a challenge. And the reason is we are playing at a very different scale, right? 20 strong IoT experts changes the entire narrative of Onward, right? If you add about, let's say 50 experts on digital automation, I think that takes us to the whole new level and delivers the growth that we are committing. So for larger companies, it's a much, much bigger challenge. For a company of our size, which is growing, I think we're not talking about very, very large numbers. So people join us with eyes wide open, right? And that's what excites us, and that's what excites them as well. And we don't have that level of attrition at that level. We definitely have high attrition and attrition at a very junior level. But that will continue because obviously there is all remote working, and we are all working hard to actually find ways to make sure that goes down.
Thank you. And just one last question. So it's regarding the general higher global landscape. So are you so like few years ago you would have seen a situation where India is the strongest country in terms of the IT skill set. Is that situation changing? Are you seeing competition from other countries, from other regions, or it is still Indians who command the lion's share in the market?
I'm very pro India, so I do believe, and I'm very pro outsourcing to India and the capabilities that we are all building here and the value that we add to global companies, both on the technical side and on the cost side. So I continue to believe India will continue to dominate and will become the continue to remain the largest outsourcing offshoring partner for global companies in the world.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of VP Rajesh from Banyan Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, congratulations, Jigar and Harsha. Just one question, because most of them have been answered otherwise. I didn't see in the press release that if Harsha or any of his team members are joining the board. So could you just clarify that?
Preeti, Mr. Rajesh, this is Harsha Raghavan here. I'll let Jigar take that, but I must also just make a mention that this call was allotted for 60 minutes, and so this will probably have to be the last question, but I'll let Jigar take this.
Sure. Yeah, thanks, Rajesh. So, VP, thanks for joining today. Yes, Harsha Raghavan would be joining our board post a successful EGM.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that will be the last question for today. I now hand the conference over to the management for the closing comments. Thank you, and over to you.
Thank you. Hi, this is Jigar Mehta here again. Again, just to quickly summarize, really appreciate all of you guys taking time on short notice. I hope all of you guys are safe. This investment, again, is a big vote of confidence for the hard work that my entire team of 2,100 people have been putting in. Our customers are expecting a lot from us, and they have been very supportive and about the way we have ramped up and what the value that they expect us to provide, not only now, but also in the future. We have very exciting opportunities in front of us. We are hiring a lot of people, all remote, all lateral right now. And we continue to remain confident that we will be able to transform the organization more and more towards the digital, on the embedded, on the electronic side. And we are very happy to welcome Harsha and the Convergent team as partners and investors in our journey. I think they will give us the big boost that we needed and the confidence to actually compete with some of the biggest companies in the world. And most importantly, to serve our customers much more confidently and efficiently. So again, welcome Harsha to the team, and thank you everybody for joining the call today.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Onward Technologies Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you all for joining us, and you may now disconnect your line.